Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So this is from AVO. It's legal advice, questions and answers. Get the legal answers you need from licensed attorneys. I'm not a legal expert. I'm simply reading the information. Question. How am I supposed to get a job if I'm emancipated and is 14? I am 13 years old but plan to get emancipated when I turn 14. But when I did my research on Google, that's kind of funny, it didn't tell me if I can get a work permit at 14. And how am I supposed to support myself if I can't afford a home, if I work 6 hours a day? Or what if a Scientologist child's working 18-hour days? Just wondering. Okay, one attorney answer. This is Alice Jeannie Baker, employment and labor attorney in Rockland, California. She's got a lot of really good reviews. She's got red hair. Hey. Posted on September 28th, 2017. I strongly encourage you to consider options other than becoming emancipated at the age of 14. As a practical matter, it's almost impossible for a person of your age to support yourself. Yeah, they usually become homeless, and then they might end up like Meat Rack Boy. Just check out that book. And you are at serious risk of becoming homeless or worse. There are other options available. If there are any children listening, which I always mark my YouTube channel not for children. But if maybe you're in the room of an adult while you're watching this video, good to listen. As to your specific question, under California law, an emancipated minor is subject to all of California's child labor laws. Isn't that interesting, you guys? Even emancipated 13 and 14-year-olds are still subject to the labor laws. How crazy is that? Except that you can get a work permit without your parents' permission. I would assume without guardian's permission as well. Crazy. I've attached a booklet produced by the Department of Industrial Relations that will explain your rights in detail. There's a good summary chart beginning on page 60, and there's the link. I imagine you could just copy and paste that. Here are some of the main things you need to know. Listen to this, you guys. There's actually laws regarding children that are supposed to be followed. Isn't that wild? While school is in session, you are limited to 3 hours of work per school day. Huh. I guess Scientologist children, that does not apply to them, huh? It doesn't apply to Scientology children, just other children. Outside of school hours. So that means if you're going to school, by law in California, you're only allowed to work 3 hours. Per California law. 8 hours on any non-school day. I believe a non-school day might be, certain schools just call like a non-school day for like parents' conferences. Maybe there's a holiday. I think most schools are closed Monday. Oh, no, not Monday. I'm sorry. Saturday and Sunday. So if you are working on those days as a child in California, that is illegal. It's against the law. And there are repercussions. People can get jail time for allowing children to work in California, and I'm sure a lot of other states have similar laws. 8 hours on any non-school day and 18 hours per week. So check that out. Children, which to my understanding is deemed a child, a minor who is 18 years or under. And then there's all the marriage that I'm going to cover at some point. But a minor or a child that is under the year 18 years, by law in California, is only allowed, by law, to work 18 hours per week. So a Scientology child, let's just assume, this is all speculative. Let's speculate that a Scientologist child works an 18-hour day. Right there, the law is broken. Facts. While school is not in session, so that would be if a Scientologist child might hear this when he's in his living room of his mother or his father or guardian. While school is not in session, that would be during the summer usually. Any parents can update me, I'm out of the freaking loop. But that would be probably, it could be anywhere from like late May until late September, something like that in America. I think that's about where that is. So in the summertime, more so, you are limited to the hours of 7 a.m. So if for some reason a child in Scientology had a 6 a.m. muster, that right there is against the law, right? You are limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if for some bizarre, strange reason, a Scientologist child is doing manual labor, construction work, what is the yard work they call it, landscaping, which apparently a lot of the cadet org did a lot of landscaping, those kinds of jobs. If you're working past 7 p.m., whomever you're around as an adult, whether they're knowledgeable or not, that is against the law. So you need to know your laws. During the summer, you are limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So what that's telling you is if you're doing any kind of work, and you have to be a certain age depending on your state, if you're doing any kind of work in between, like if for some reason you were working before the hour of 7 a.m., that's illegal. If you are made to work past 9 p.m., that is illegal in California. And it possibly might include reading materials. I don't know for sure. We'd have to look that one up. You are limited to the following occupations. Now listen up real close, folks. Because some folks want to play dumb. Listen up really close. Office and clerical work. That's one job that you are allowed to do. Cashiering, selling, modeling. I'd be real careful with that modeling stuff. Go look into it. It's not good. Window trimming, etc. In a retail store, price marking. It's when you put the prices on the thing. Assembling orders. So, that's easy to understand. And packing and shelving in a retail store. I think that's called facing. I used to love doing that. I'm weird. Bagging and carrying out customer orders. I'd be careful if they're too heavy, though. Depending on your size. You shouldn't be carrying real heavy things because your bones are still developing right now. Unless you're a real husky football player type guy. Brand and delivery work. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Errand and delivery work. She really covers it. But remember, you have to follow the previous guidelines. If you're not in those guidelines, then you can't do these things. Kitchen work. Wait, I missed one. Cleanup work such as vacuuming. Kitchen work involving the operation of a dishwasher. So you can turn the dishwasher on and off. You can load it. Toaster, that's safe for you. Popcorn popper, that's safe. Milkshake blender, so maybe you're at an ice cream shop, you're allowed to do that. Or coffee grinder. Cleaning fruits and vegetables. You have to make sure you're up to code. You can't be cleaning those vegetables unless you're following the laws, because you can get a big penalty for not following those, cleaning the fruits and vegetables the right way. What is it? Department of Health can come in and fine you. In fact, I just had a good idea. Here are some occupations that you cannot legally perform. So, if any children in their parents' living room or guardian's living room happens to be listening to this video, these are duties that you cannot be asked to do, because you know why? They are 100% illegal in the state of California. And you know what? If you get caught performing these duties by anyone, by a citizen walking on the street, like me, or like people living in Los Angeles, or maybe a cop, maybe a security guard, maybe a teacher, security guard, anyone that has flesh and blood walking down the street can legally report illegal activities and document them. Document. Oh, check this out, you guys. You're going to love this. Cannot legally perform cooking in most instances. That's very interesting, isn't it? Gas station attendant who pumps gas. Car washer. Well, we all know how that would be really, really dangerous for a child. Lawnmower operator. Oh, listen to this. Work in manufacturing. It just makes me think about all those Scientology children that were in the factory making those CDs. And they were making other materials. They actually, from what I understand, a lot of the Scientology children do manufacturing work. That's why they don't let cameras into the buildings. Hello. Any job, listen to this, any job that requires you to use power equipment. I can't help but think of that Moxon girl. Or Serge Oblensky. And then there was another kid, I forget what his name is, in Scientology. A kid. Cut his finger off. Yeah. I guess that's why they have, like, child labor laws, huh? Crazy. Isn't that crazy? Huh. Any job that requires you to use power equipment that could injure you. Remember, anyone walking down the street, flesh and blood, if they've got feet and they got hands and they're walking down the street, anybody can report that infraction, that crime that is being committed in making a child do these tasks. It's illegal. Work in any warehouse. Well, how about that? Especially, too, let's pretend that children are working in a warehouse, which is illegal. There are also numerous codes that are supposed to be followed, and if those codes are not followed, everyone is endangered. Just to let you know. Loading goods onto a truck. Well, how about that? With your legal employment options this limited, and remember, she's talking to a child who wants to get emancipated. But those laws apply to other children as well. You can see why I say that it's almost impossible for a person of your age, a child, to support yourself. People who choose the emancipation at age 14 option invariably wind up spending all of their time and attention just trying to survive. It also makes me think about all the children that get kicked out of their parents' homes or organizations. Your housing is insecure. Also, if perhaps a child or a guardian or a parent just might be listening to this, that also opens up the child to sex trafficking immediately. I mean, if you don't have any morals or ethics, maybe you're looking like, wow, I could make some money. But if you are ethical and moral, it might be something to think about. You don't have any energy left to focus on other things beyond basic survival. Under these conditions, it's difficult even to graduate from high school. Or two, also, let's think about a lot of children that maybe didn't get very much schooling, like the basic classes. College is pretty much a no-go. You're basically setting yourself up for a life of poverty. I see what this lawyer's doing, so I'm going to go with it. Because, we got the whole story of Daniela Mekovich. I think her name's Daniela Mekovich. She was an army captain. She grew up in the Children of God cult. She did make it work, but it wasn't easy. You already realize that you can't feed, clothe, and shelter yourself. Wow. Scientology, did you hear that? Children can't feed, clothe, and shelter themselves. Scientology. You are limited to 18 hours a week during the school year. So if there's any child listening out there in their parents' room or their guardian's room, it's illegal to work an 18-hour day. In fact, it's illegal to work 18 hours per week in California. Isn't that wild? 18 hours a week times $10.50 an hour, that must be minimum wage, is $189 a week. Well, that's way more than Scientologist children get. It's way more than Scientologist adults get. They don't even have money for their toiletries. Multi-billion-dollar organization. And their Sea Org members and staff members don't have enough money for toiletries. $189 a week, which would equal $819 a month. That's not enough for rent. There's no way you can live on that much money. So that's it, you guys. Good information. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.